This is Harlem Eubank. You're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so following the win for Dmitry Bivol over Saul Canelo Alvarez this past weekend, Chris Eubank Jr. has taken to social media to call out Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and this is what he had to say. Well, Triple G, looks like you're going to need a new dance partner now that Canelo has been dethroned. I'm ready to tango, baby. Let's get it on this summer. Chris Eubank Jr.'s statement. Now, a couple of ways to look at this one. Firstly, a fight between Triple G and Canelo, the third fight. That may still be on if Canelo does not officially activate the rematch clause with Bivol. Okay, so he may still go down that route with Triple G, but I would imagine he'd probably want to run it back with Bivol because Canelo, listen, he's a warrior. He is, and he's not going to want to go out like that. As he's already stated, he wants to rematch, but we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? And of course, a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. and Kell Brook. Now, that's no longer going to be happening since Kell Brook has now announced his retirement. So a fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, makes sense. Chris Eubank Jr. is the mandatory challenger for Triple G's WBA middleweight world title. So that's a fight that Triple G probably has to take next anyway if he doesn't get the Canelo Alvarez fight. But again, the Canelo Alvarez fight is going to be at 168. It will not be at middleweight anyway. But as far as this fight is concerned, Eubank Jr., Golovkin, yeah, I'd like to see this fight. It's a fight that I wanted to see quite some years ago. We know that the terms broke down last minute. Some people say that Chris Eubank Jr. couldn't find his pen and whatever else it may be. Eddie Hearn was saying that the negotiation period was quite difficult because Chris Eubank Jr.'s father, Chris Eubank, was making it quite difficult how he wanted to say Barry McGuigan on commentary. He wanted this person on doing that and his extra little niggly bits. And they said, you know what, you're messing about now. Moved on. Triple G ended up fighting Kell Brook. This is where Kell Brook got his orbital bone broken. So I would like to see this fight. Is it too late to see this fight? Triple G, of course, he is 40 years old. But Chris Eubank Jr., he has been looking pretty good recently. But is it the kind of fight that Triple G needs? Is there a bigger fight out there for him? Maybe if he went and fought and had a unification with Charlo, would that be bigger than this one? In stateside, yeah, maybe. Here in the UK, no, it wouldn't be. Chris Eubank Jr. is a bigger ticket seller than a Charlo. So it depends on whereabouts you have to fight. They're both equally as good, both equally as lucrative, you would imagine. So of course, with Triple G, that's likely to be on a Sky Sports show if he fights Chris Eubank Jr. If he fights Charlo, it's probably going to, again, that's probably going to have all kinds of repercussions and conflicts of negotiations. Does it happen on Triple G's platform of DAZN? Does it happen on Showtime? See, boxing politics just seem to ruin certain fights. But as far as this fight is concerned, if Triple G and Chris Eubank Jr. want to get it on and they both agree to it, great, I'd like to see this fight. I really would. At this stage, I would favour Eubank Jr. Honestly, I would. But at the same time, Triple G, yes, he didn't look great against Ryoto Murata for the first 3 or 4 rounds, but then he started to look like the old Triple G as the rounds went on. So maybe Triple G, it's not over for him yet. Maybe, because Ryoto Murata is a very, very good fighter. He's a very good fighter. Very tough, very durable, and Triple G managed to stop him. But with Chris Eubank Jr., he's much faster than Murata. On his feet, his hands, and I think his durability is probably just a little bit better than Murata as well. Maybe. But if Eubank Jr. does fight Triple G, he can't afford to be fighting the way that he would normally do, where he'll pip a few rounds here and there and then start showboating on the back foot and is giving rounds away, much like he did with Liam Williams. He was comfortably winning that fight, of course, but then he started showboating and messing around for the last 2 or 3 rounds of that fight. Can't afford to be doing that with Triple G. So if he does fight Triple G, he needs to be bang on it for the entire 12 rounds, especially as Triple G is a unified middleweight world champion. Anyway, I'd like to see this fight. As far as Chris Eubank Jr. is concerned, that will be the fight that I'd like to see him in. As far as Triple G is concerned, I would like to see him fight Chris Eubank Jr. I would. So anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.